Viewer discretion is advised.
Calgary Flames. In 2004, you pretty much had the cup locked up. Jarome Iginla's name was being etched on the Conn Smythe trophy, and it looked like you had it in the bag. Until, of course, shady officiating cost you that one, and then ultimately you lost Game 7. Then you held on to Iginla for way too long after his trade value had all but diminished. And of course, now you can't find a goaltender, and you got swept out of the gym last year by the Ducks.
Murray Edwards made his money in the Canadian oil business. Basically, this dude owns a shitload of land in Alberta, which has this sand that produces oil. In 2014, a mine he owned suffered a disaster when slurry and chemicals got dumped into nearby Polly Lake, which is nothing in comparison to how bad the fucking Flames were last year.
The aging Saddledome has been caught in the middle of an ugly dispute over where the Flames should play next. However, there are no replacement plans yet. In 2013, the arena was flooded up to the 8th row, and the new Jumbotron was ruined as it sat on the floor during summer downtime. Crews worked around the clock to get the stadium ready for the 2014 season. In 2015, the Saddledome set a record when fans donated over 28,000 stuffed animals after a goal during an AHL game. Okay, that was pretty awesome. This game was ugly from the start, as 11 seconds in, a fight broke out, and 2 minutes and 5 seconds later, they were back at it. Unfortunately for the Flames, all they had were fists, as the Canucks scored 6 power play goals on the way to an 11-zippy ass whipping. Mike Vernon started in net and gave up 3 goals on 6 shots. Where's the Hockey Ultimate Team card for that?
Come all to the Calgary Flames family circus. Agony and frustration for all ages. Your parents saw it for years. Excluding 1989, we were cancelled that year due to an incident in Montreal. See for yourself how your ambitions will be predictably shut down once again. Have you ever wondered how the top seed in the conference can make an inconsistent wildcard team look like the 97 Red Wings? Ponder no further. Introducing the Tar Sand Avalanche, where this team's talent and abilities are buried under 3 feet of snow. Mike Smith can only weep as he tries to save poor villages from the onslaught of Nathan McKinnon. After that, enter our esteemed Hall of Illusions. No matter where you look, the puck always appears to be in the net. If you thought the Brower contract was bad, just wait until you gander at this dandy of a James Neal. We bury you in almost $6 million American dollars in debt per year for 6 years. Then you are quite literally scratched. We aren't liable for infections. As you're recovering from your wounds, indulge in some of our very own Monahan ice cream. It's vanilla, just like his playstyle. The disappointment doesn't end there, folks. Witness the boy wonder Johnny Hockey work his craft. Right after we figure out where the hell he is. He's been gone for a week and we're worried sick. As you wonder, Matt Tkachuk will deck you in the face. All Calgarians agree it's like watching Jarome Iginla's career wither and die in real time. It's gutless, it's underachieving, it's a potential bait and switch. It's the Calgary Flames, where peak season is usually before April. If you miss it, don't worry, we'll probably be doing the same shit next year. Act now and Ken King will personally lecture you as to why the Flames need a new arena whilst injecting you with creosote. I'd offer you some defense, but ours is too busy pinching. See you on the golf course. Come all to another fantastically underwhelming year of the Calgary Flames family circus. Even in the comfy confines of our dreaded adversary in Edmonton, this team will still find new and exciting ways to strip mine all of your hope. Just take a look at our new exhibits for this upcoming season. Experience incredible grit and toughness across your skin with a Milan Lucicinator. Strap yourself in as he literally decks you into plexiglass for 5 minutes straight. You thought there was going to be scoring in this exhibit. Certainly not for you. Watch in awe as we launch nukes at the Bill Peters nuclear testing site. The radioactive fallout will be incredible as we fire wave after wave of N-bombs at an undisclosed location. It's ironically where the Saddledome is. Pay an extra $5 and you'll have the luxury of being fired out of it as well. Don't cancel or else we'll do it for you. Feel the apathy in our brand new opt-out zone. No, we're not talking about any particular player. We're talking about the entire team. Check out just like the Flames do in most playoff performances. And finally, meet our most requested attraction, the inevitable, the unbelievable, the Calgary Collapse. Do you see this clutch goal with 1 minute left in the period? Poof! Got in a flash. A lead in the final minute of play to take a commanding 3-1 series lead? Not on our watch, we won't. Look at this bounty! 3 goals in the first 10 minutes of play! Surely the Flames won't find a way to piss it all down the drain? Oh, but do they? 7 unanswered goals! You also asked for the perfect way to channel your feelings towards this franchise, and we have that too. A simple detonator. Yes, you too can blow up this franchise sky high like we will probably do this offseason. That or grossly overpay Braden Holtby and bring back the circus next year. You all know what we'll do. You expected stability and net.
You blew it. Good night.
Come all to the Calgary Flames Family Circus. The COVID restrictions may be gone, but the perennial disappointments have never left. Enter with incredible expectations, leave as bitter and disillusioned as ever before. Step right up to the Saddledome and feel the rug pulled from under you with the proposal pullout. Be ready to begin construction of a beautiful ride only to be forced out thanks to an impasse between local politicians and ownership. Truly frustrating. See for yourself our newest exhibit in the Swedish Sieve. No, you aren't with the Colorado Rockies. You're seeing Jacob Markstrom turn into Swiss cheese in real time. Remember, don't touch or else you watch him give up 3 goals in a minute. Do you feel held back? That's simply the dueling Monahan and Lucic, burning so much money per second that it violates every environmental regulation in the book. Lucic is buyout proof next season too. Good luck. You suddenly feel the structure become unstable. Don't fret, you're in the Sutter Zone. It's a supposedly secure defensive cocoon that consistently fails due to the high-end talent of their opponent. Who knew that could happen? But this year we have something special cooked up. We sat around and wondered what it would be like to reimagine the feelings of the puck being in the net in 04. With the Coleman kicker, you too can experience rage and anguish like none other. Conveniently forget about the failures of games 2 through 4. The conspiracies and vitriol will fly. All complaints about the ride will be handled promptly by our Department of Salt Collection. Suddenly you find your wallet becoming light. Well, we automatically took out mandatory donations for our big payday fund. Begathons are underway to prepare for Kachuk's, Manjapane's, and Shillington's new contracts. The Johnny Hockey mode is currently undergoing repairs. You'll get an extra hour in the ball pit as compensation. The critics agree. It's the greatest first 20% of an experience possible. The rest of your journey will be failure after failure, losing 4 in a row against your most hated rival. Best of all, this was a team desperately trying to hand you wins with their inconsistent goaltending and defensive play. Hurry and receive this special offer. Pay for 7 games and only receive 5 in return. All of this and more at the Calgary Flames Family Circus. Expect to be underwhelmed, but leave broken anyway.
Remember Bill Peters and his allegations of abuse? Turns out he's also a racist. Last year, reports surfaced of him using racial slurs at Rockford Ice Hogs player Akim Aliu, and those previous allegations about the GOAT, MJ. Peters resigned and was promptly canceled. A mascot for nearly 35 years, Harvey found himself in the spotlight in 2003 when he taunted then Oilers coach Craig McTavish, eventually ending with the dog's tongue being ripped out and thrown into the crowd. The Oilers scored 3 unanswered goals after that, but still lost. Earlier this year, brother of Flames goalie David Rittich, who has autism, got to meet Harvey in a very touching moment. Alright, okay, that was awesome. The most appropriately named stadium in the history of all sports, the Saddledome in Calgary, is now nearing the end of its long life as the home of the Flames. In 2013, the Saddledome was flooded up to the 8th row of the lower bowl when the nearby Elbow and Bow rivers overflowed. In 2015, it was clear the arena, the 3rd oldest in the NHL, needed to be replaced. A proposal called Calgary Next was drawn up, which would combine a new arena with a new CFL stadium in the same district. That fell through as the cost to the taxpayer was too much, and you know it was too high when Canadians don't want to pay more taxes. A new plan was drawn up in 2017 to replace just the Saddledome, and that was approved in 2019. However, in 2021, the city council balked as costs skyrocketed because it turned out the new design was actually not feasible. Then in December of 2021, the group that owns the Flames pulled out of the deal, citing disagreements on costs. It looks like a game of chicken, honestly, as there's no way the Saddledome could possibly make it to 2033 when the lease expires. Who knows? For now, the Flames are staying put.
Guys, I just wanted to tell you I had this awesome idea. An epic presentation full of some of the greatest North American talents in hockey. My vision will lead to a brilliant playoff run. I know this because everything looks good on paper. Little did we know that this idea would be executed poorly and be set on fire, just like the Calgary Flames. A team that has squandered so much talent over the past few years you would file a waste ordinance on their behalf. I personally have found electron reactions to be more stable than this inconsistent bunch. I can hear the victim mentality now. Edmonton was unfairly stacked in the 1980s. We were stuck with Mike Keenan for a few years. The puck was in the net. Sure, you could say that, but what the fuck have you accomplished over the past 25 years besides constant underachieving? Oh my goodness, you beat the Canucks in a series? That's sure to shed your mediocre reputation. How about you fleece them by taking Hunter Shinkaruk and sending them these busts named Marcus Granlund and Sven Bartchi? They won those trades, you say. Doesn't matter, the legendary Brian Burke is going to load you guys with legendary North American grit. Look at how they bolster the bottom six with a broken down Troy Brouwer. Witness them draft perennial underachiever Sam Bennett. In fact, let's trade a healthy draft sum to the Islanders for Travis Hamonic. We have the best North American defense in the world. It's like he's learned nothing from his disastrous reign with the Maple Leafs. The levels of frustration and agony could be seen throughout the past few years. How does going on a torrid hot streak before the playoffs sound? Good. Well, how does being swept aside by the horrors of Honda Center sound? No, your good old North American goaltender can't make a save from the point. Anaheim seasons their feast with the salt of Saddle Dough. At least until Calgary gets the great old man known as Yager. An injury-prone Yager in his twilight. Fuck it, the only thing American about him is his gambling habit. Back to Klodno with you. Even better, let them replace their sketchy goaltender with another sketchy goaltender. The good news is that this one can make more than 8 saves in a row. It will truly get them to the second round this time. At least until Mike Smith gets injured and they fall to shit for the final time, because why the fuck do you need a backup goaltender? Who the hell knew that good old North American grit and a terrible bottom six couldn't block a zillion shots? Did I also mention that your first 2 picks are Islander property? Brian Burke commits seppuku in the way most country clubbers do, by yelling at everyone on television. As for Brad Treliving, they could always go for Ryan O'Reilly again. On second thought, let's not try that. You know what team they should emulate? The Carolina Hurricanes. Because nothing is a shining beacon of light like a team that has been the epitome of mediocrity for a decade. First, let's bring in their old head coach in Bill Peters, who literally had the exact same situation in Raleigh. Next up, make a major trade to bring in Noah Hannafin and Elias Lindholm and sign Derek Ryan, because Hurricanes. A backup goalie, unnecessary, but they do need some James Neal in their lives. And a ridiculous markup. Ugh. Just hope you don't have to buy him out like you did Brouwer. At this point, you may be asking yourself what's the catch here. A team that is simply mediocre and stubborn in personnel assembly isn't enough to merit one of these videos. There has to be something else going on. You would be correct. In another way of trying to cash in on recent trends, the Flames are also dealing with stadium issues. Turns out the Saddledome is an affront to professional hockey. Its 35-year-old majesty and Olympic game construction are no longer worthy of being eliminated in the first round. What they truly need, besides stable goaltending, is a state-of-the-art arena. All of those good old North American fixins so they can charge a ridiculous markup for tickets and box seats. But that isn't enough for the Flames. What they want is all of the shiny toys for their teams. A new arena, a football stadium, a multi-sport complex, and probably included a new PlayStation as well. Calgary next. The future is here for the low cost of $1.8 billion. No wonder why that plane got shot down. Let them go with the backup and more modest option of a new arena for the team. It's not ridiculously ambitious, and it's in a quaint location in the West Village. Just ignore the fact that it's on contaminated land and is steeped in creosote. That's irrelevant to the subject at hand. To the Flames, it's the mayor of Calgary that is the real villain, Naheed Nenshi. He is a drunkard and a fool. He believes that a new arena will do nothing for the city and refuses to give a significant handout to the team. They won't pay for half? Fuck that noise. We're taking our ball and going home. You know, we really don't need a new arena, Calgary. You just have to deal with the consequences of your actions as we move away. Look at how much we would have invested in this enterprise. We'll even get Big Daddy Bettman involved in this. Let's describe the Saddledome to you. Inefficient, antiquated, geriatric. It's the second oldest arena in the NHL currently, a disgrace to the league. The oil industry is in a downturn. Our poor, disheveled owners cannot afford to turn their coffers into the tar sands of Alberta. Shoot, Murray Edwards had to move to London just to avoid the atrocious Canadian tax rates. They'll just ruin Nenshi's reputation wherever they can. Is that really a reason to bully people? Is this why you actively promoted and bankrolled Nenshi's opponent in a mayoral election? Is that why you want a media blackout on negotiations? It's a deadly combination of avariciousness and naivete. So suddenly the corporate descendants of the factory that contaminated the land are going to clean up the creosote? What kind of drugs are you on? Trust me, I know exactly why you guys are doing this. Because Edmonton got their fancy new hockey shrine. You saw how Daryl Kate strong-armed and threatened the city to get his way, and now you want to do the same. Because, of course, there's no way little brother can have what his sibling has. Southern Alberta must one-up them in every conceivable way. They get a new Game Boy, you want a fucking Genesis. God forbid the city doesn't want to be duped and 9 figures in the hole like Edmonton is. Tensions between city and team have cooled off a bit, and negotiations have reopened, but Calgary next may be rearing its ugly head again. Just one word, Mr. Nenshi. Don't. Flames fans have suffered enough thanks to this bullshit, and they don't need this haunting them for decades to come. Citizens of Calgary, here's the situation. The team is either moving away and you're fucked, or you're on the hook for hundreds of millions of dollars and you're fucked. Either way, you get to be screwed not only by ownership, but the product on the ice as it underachieves dramatically like it does every goddamn season. Shit like this is why I can't respect the league. The team is doing its best impression of every sniveling, passive-aggressive cartoon villain, yet the NHL has done nothing but throw shade at the city of Calgary. What the fuck do they owe you? Because the Flames just happen to have a healthy, viable fan base? Is this the fight you want to take on? Not any of the other team's issues, or CTE, or the impending lockout, but a stadium that is described as okay? Nenshi isn't exactly the cleanest politician out there, but he's in the right to protect the interests of his city. The mayor just wants a fair deal. What you want is to milk it for all it's worth. All this arena is going to do is price out the common man while leaving people angry. The Saddle Dome isn't exactly the Taj Mahal, but besides being damaged in a flood 5 years ago, it's fine for the time being. You're picking the wrong battle, and at this rate, the team isn't just going up in flames. It's the relationship with Calgary. Unfortunately for you, there is no replay to show you that the funding is in the net. His GM tenures have been disasters, but that doesn't mean he still can't coach. Calgary has been gunning for a way back to the Cup Finals, and why not Mike Keenan? His style of coaching may be turning more archaic as time passes, but he's still sound tactically. Just win a damn cup and they'll be fine. Keenan makes it back to the playoffs for the first time in over a decade. Trying to wash out the stains that Detroit left on him 12 years earlier, he has to deal with the bites of the Sharks taking out his aspirations in Game 7. Welcome back. It is here where the writing is on the wall for Keenan, as he suffers an underachieving season and another first-round exit to a young Blackhawks team. Calgary has seen enough. They know what happens when Iron Mike stays around for too long. No pension for you, sir. Out. Mike Keenan's NHL coaching career is over. Many years pass with no suitors lining up for his services. His aggressive, demanding approach doesn't work as well with the modern player. New tactics have made his style obsolete. He is but a footnote in history. But while the North American gates may be shut, the doors of Mother Russia are wide open. The KHL. A land of endless oil money and corruption. Magnitogorsk needs themselves another coach, so it's time for Iron Mike to forge a reputation on a new continent. Not that it's a huge deal or anything, but the hiring of Keenan turns out to be a massive success. It was the spark they needed. Magnitogorsk dominates the league and spanked a bunch of inbred Czechs around in the finals. Mike Keenan is once again a champion. Another cup is his reward, a fancy Russian one. I wonder if it's made purely of vodka. I feel like they could do it. So at least Keenan still has his coaching chops. That's always good to know. Another strong regular season leads to an arrest for treason and sent to Gulag as punishment. The crime, losing to Novosibirsk in the second round. I can't tell if this is a joke or not, considering how Russia is. Things are going well for Iron Mike in Gulag. He's meshing well with Russian hockey culture, he's found new life as a coach, and he's even earned Russian citizenship. There are even rumors swirling around that he's even being considered for coaching Team Russia. Imagine him beating the Canadians that spurned him, it would be fantastic. Sadly, Magnitogorsk still believes that he has committed horrible crimes. The team is sputtering and just lost back-to-back games. The only thing I can think is that they heard of his reputation in America and chose to decapitate him before it turned ugly. I'd make a shitty Yakov Smirnoff joke here, but I'll spare you. Welcome to China. The KHL's first foray into the shining markets of corruption and money being thrown around like candy. The Kunlun Red Star, a fledgling team eager to colonize this land with fantastical ice and skill. They made the playoffs last year but need to go further. Why not an old legend? Mike Keenan, the newest head coach and GM, has some work to do, but it can be done. It just needs time. Apparently 35 games is long enough of a look. A massive 9-game losing streak isn't good for breaking into an untapped market, you know? You may say that it's a new team going through growing pains, but they give zero fucks about it. Mike, you know the drill by now. You're fired, congratulations, here's a fruit basket and gift card to Amazon, don't call us, we'll call you. That, you can say, is one of the more interesting careers of a coach you will ever see. A tale spun with both strife and success, complemented by eternal power struggles and pissing off players that didn't like his coaching style. His approach was what made him successful most places he went. It was also what caused him to burn bridges just as fast. The lust for power cutting him down when others saw him as a threat. Love him or hate him, he is one of the more iconic coaches in NHL history. And even though Tortorella shares a lot of comparables to him, there will never be another coach like Keenan again. Let's just say a lot of Iron Mike's tactics wouldn't work well with players today. An argument could be made for it being abusive. Some ex-players have already come out and criticized him for it. He's very love-hate, as mercurial as he was behind the bench. I just wonder if he didn't leave violently everywhere he went, would he have had even more success? Can't say he really regrets much considering the cups in 2 continents, but still something to consider.